Hi everyone. This week we start a new book, Sefer Bamidbar, here at least in Chutz La'aretz, outside Eretz Yisrael. They're already a week ahead of us. They'll be that way for several weeks till August. Getting back to our parsha this week. This week's parsha in Bamidbar, the Jewish people are counted. There's a census taken, and in the second chapter, Moshe Rabbeinu was commanded by God to take the tribes, and instead of disbanding the tribes and becoming one unified group of Jewish people, nope. You take these three tribes, and we want them on the east side of the Mishkan. We want the other three tribes on the north side, and etc. Till we get all 12 tribes that are surrounding the Mishkan. Now, this census and all this takes place in the second year of the Midbar. Now, this is in contradistinction to what we learned about the giving of the Torah. It says that when Jewish people encamped around Har Sinai, it says Vayichan Sham. They encamped as one singular unit. Rashi says it so beautifully, Ki ish echad belev echad, as one person and one heart. All their encampments, there were disputes, they weren't as peaceful, they weren't as harmonious. And so what I'm not really understanding here, or the question that I'd like to put forward to you is, if the success of the Jewish people in their spiritual realm and as a nation is to be unified, and we know that our strength is through unity, then why are we highlighting as we go through the wilderness that each tribe has to have its place and each tribe has to have their own banner and their own flag? Wouldn't it just be say, listen, we're Bnei Yisrael, we're just part of one Jewish people? But that's not the case. So this question has been asked by many scholars, and the one that I want to focus on today is Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky in his Sefer Emes Liyaakov, and he puts forth the following. He said, the counting takes place in the second year of the Jewish people in the wilderness, which means the year before they got the Torah. And what God wanted to establish is what is the most important thing in the nation's life as a people, as a nation, as a community. It's the Torah. And it's the Torah that informs our ideals, our values, our decision-making. But then, each and every one of us, as a community, as a tribe, have unique gifts. And we want to take those unique gifts, bring them to the table, make those contributions as a unified people, that we make that space for each other. But what's the focus? What directs us, what informs our decisions is the Torah. And if you look at the encampment of the Jewish people in the wilderness for 40 years, the center is the Mishkan, where God dwells. On the east side, you have three tribes. On the west side, you have three tribes. They're all surrounded, and they each have their banners. But what's your focus? What should be the center? What should be the heart of the Jewish people? It's bringing God's presence into this world. But we don't have to all do it the same way. I think that's the beauty of the Torah. But if we focus, and the danger is, if we only focus on our differences and what I bring to the table, not what you bring to the table, if it's only about my flag and my banner, no, that's the beginning of the end. And therefore, Rabbi Yaakov says, the Torah first had to be given. You have to be unified when it comes to the Torah and all that it stands for. And then we have to make room for each other. We bring our own contributions, our talents, our creativity, our intelligence, but not for the purpose of self-promotion, but the promotion of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world. That's what the holiday of Shavuot is about, that we come together. So, yes, we recognize our differences, but we're Bnei Yisrael, we're Adat Yisrael, we're Kihilat Yisrael. That's not easy, but that's the lesson of the holiday of Shavuot. That's the lesson of the second year, counting the Jewish people and separating and putting everybody in their encampment. To understand, you got to be individuals, you got to be a community, and you bring your own unique gifts, make those contributions. But everybody's heart should be directed into the same place. If you like what you hear, please pass it on. I wish everybody a beautiful, memorable, meaningful Shavuot. Shabbat Shalom.